Now that we've got that out the way, I'll take everything you have.
Huh?
Actually, on second thought...
Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyeni, that's IRYENI, and you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 143 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. So let's just jump straight into it. Starting off at our number 5 spot, we have the Wolves Non-Hostile for Werewolves mod. Now the mod page reads, ever think it was unrealistic that wolves don't smell the kinship you share as a werewolf in human form? Ayla, Harkon, and the members of the Frost Moon Pack can smell a werewolf in human form, but wolves somehow can't? Sure, they won't attack you in werewolf form, but in your natural state they don't seem to be able to smell you? Isn't that a little stupid? Well, this mod corrects that problem. If you're planning on being a werewolf, then this mod is definitely for you. Wolves won't attack you on sight, so you can walk right up to them and they don't turn hostile. It's also important to note that this mod must be active at the very start of a game before you make your character. Already created characters in save games do not work. This mod is a very small mod coming in at 1.15 kilobytes, and it also doesn't make too much of an impact on the game. It just makes it a lot more realistic if you're planning on going into a werewolf character. It makes it so while you're going hunting as that werewolf character and you're in human form, wolves won't be attacking you because you are part of their kinship and you are part of the pack. All in all, if you like playing as a werewolf in the game and you want to start off as a new character and go straight into being a werewolf, then this is definitely a mod for you. And that's why it comes in at our number 5 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Wolves Non-Hostile for Werewolves mod. Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the Sheo Follower mod. Now the mod page reads, I generally get bored with followers after a while. Sheogorath in this mod is the only way that I enjoy a follower permanently into the game. Now some information about Sheogorath as a follower himself is he has 145 different Sheogorath voice files taken from both Oblivion and Skyrim, so his dialogue is varied and doesn't get boring. He's also essential and cannot be killed. He has an extra set of clothing that you can wear if you want to, and his clothing is now enchanted light armor and can be upgraded on a workbench. You also cannot accidentally sell his clothing or disenchant it because those options have been disabled. He also has his signature Oblivion slitted eyes, and there's a character preset whenever you are making a new character in the Breton race where you can actually be him, making him a playable character in the game now. He can level alongside you up to level 250, he has the light-footed perk so he won't trigger pressure plates like the other idiot followers, and he also has the Stealth 80 perk so that you don't have to worry about him being noisy and being detected whenever you're sneaking around. Now if you guys are a lot like me, you absolutely love Sheogorath as a character, whether it be in Oblivion and Skyrim. I just wish he was in Skyrim more, and that's definitely what this mod does. It adds him in as a follower, and it would only really make sense if you went and did this after you do the Sheogorath quest that's in the game in Solitude. I would only go and get this follower after you do that quest because it kind of ruins that whole lore aspect whenever you go and do that quest if you already have him as a follower, and you can find him in the Bannered Mare in Whiterun, so I would only install this mod if you have that quest already active, or else things might not really make sense for you. Other than that, he's a great follower, and the 145 different voice files that were taken from Oblivion and Skyrim just make it so he won't get boring and you can just hear those classic lines that he says in Oblivion and Skyrim. And that's definitely why it comes in at our number 4 spot, so I'd recommend downloading the Sheo Follower mod. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have a player home called the Ilinata Lake House. Now the mod page reads that this is a small to medium-sized player home found on the north bank of Lake Ilinata, which includes a forge, smelter, oven, alchemy table, enchanting table, mannequins, and weapon storage. How do you get the key to this house? It's very, very easy. There's a key in the satchel next to the door, as I'm showing you right here. Now I'm going to be giving you guys a full tour of everything that the house has to offer, so let's begin. Now, as you can see, this is a very simple house, but I really love its location and just everything that goes into how the house is set up. Everything is very close together, and there's not many loading screens whenever it comes to traveling from one place to another in your house, other than going into the basement where you have all of your armor and weapons on display. So only having that one loading screen and having everything close together is pretty much my favorite part about a house mod, and its location being right on the edge of the lake, and you can just overlook the lake whenever you're outside the house. It's just a perfect location for this house, and that's definitely why it comes in at a number 3 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Ilanata Lake House and giving it a try for yourself. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have the Great Village of Old Heraldin. Now, the mod page reads that Old Heraldin is a small settlement in the Reach. Hundreds of years ago, the Reach was torn apart by a war not unlike the current one. It is the site of an ancient battleground where Tiber Septim defeated an army of Reachmen by shouting down its walls. As such, Old Heraldin is the stone upon which the Empire was built. Though Old Heraldin might not be a big settlement, it was the battle that earned its place in history. This overhauls the settlement with a new Reach building set. The inn has its own unique exterior, and 2 farmhouses have been added as well. It also replaces the nearby Sinkhole farmhouse with a new one. The style of the buildings is inspired by Breton architecture, and the meshes are new, but the textures are from Solitude. Though the worship of Talos may be outlawed, he's still a respected man in the Empire, so the town now has a statue to remember this victory. Now, there are other mods out there that actually change Old Heraldin into being a huge city and a big settlement, but I like it being more lore friendly, having it be just one small village and one small settlement because of the background history of where this battle took place and how Tiber Septim defeated the army of Reachmen by shouting down the walls. Now, in the vanilla version of the game, Old Heraldin is pretty much an overlooked town that no one really ever travels to, at least me. I've spent several hours playing Skyrim, and I've barely ever traveled to Old Heraldin ever, but this may change that because it looks a lot better now, and it's a more unique location to explore rather than just being a random tavern that everyone else has already seen before. So if you don't have any mods that alter Old Heraldin in any way, then this is definitely a mod to check out because it comes in at 2.20 megabytes, which is pretty much nothing for what it adds, so you can greatly enhance another area of your map without having to take up too much space, and that's definitely why this mod comes in at a number 2 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Great Village of Old Heraldin. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have the Reliquary of Myth, an artifact overhaul. Now, the mod page reads, the Reliquary of Myth is not your ordinary artifact overhaul. It's actually an extensive artifact overhaul that was designed to change how each artifact works significantly by lessening the need for every character to level enchanting to survive at higher levels. The objective is to make every Skyrim artifact genuinely unique that seems lore friendly to the extent that it feels more rewarding and usable in a modded playthrough. Now, I'm not going to be going into full detail on what every single change to every single different artifact is. I'm just going to be giving you guys a little bit of a description of the 2 that have been listed on the mod page, but just know that this amount of attention has been added to every single artifact in the game. When it comes to Ariel's Bow, which is one of the unique artifacts altered by this mod, it now inflicts 20 points of sun damage, and undead targets now take triple damage. Fully drawing the bow now channels the sun's power, dealing an extra 100 points of sun damage. The bow draws its power directly from the sun, slowly recharging the weapon during the day. Then there's the sun-hollowed elven arrows that do 25 points of sun damage and double to undead targets, and blood-cursed elven arrows that can now absorb 25 points of health, double to living targets. The sunburst attacks caused by shooting the sun with the sun-hollowed arrows no longer harm allies and are more lethal to enemies. And between 6 AM and 7 PM in direct sunlight, it empowers the bow when fully drawn, shooting a beam of solar light that deals an extra 100 points of sun damage. This is Ariel's Bow we're talking about here, the powerful bow allegedly used by the elven god Ariel. But in Skyrim, it is outclassed by almost every other mundane bow in the game. Well, not anymore. It can now turn any arrow into a missile of death. And moving on to Dawnbreaker, which is another artifact that has been changed by this artifact overhaul, it now inflicts 10 points of sun damage, and undead targets now take triple damage. If striking undead, it has a chance to cause a fury explosion that turns and destroys nearby undead. Now, the first time Dawnbreaker strikes an undead target, it has a 20% chance to trigger Meridia's Retribution, and subsequent strikes against the same target have a 2% chance to cause the same explosion. Activating Meridia's Retribution will grant the player with a radiating aura which periodically blesses you and nearby enemies by restoring both health and stamina. The undead are cursed though, so doing this drains the same attributes in them. Ah, Dawnbreaker. A blade forged in a holy light that breaks upon the prince's foes, yet deals a pitiful 10 points of fire damage. Let's reflect its true purpose and make it incredibly deadly to undead, and a boon to all those that live. Now I really like this mod because I never really used to go after the strong artifacts that are in the game, because I used to just be able to make a better weapon myself by using my enchanting skills and my smithing skills and everything like that. I could make something better than what I could find in an artifact. But now this changes that, so the artifacts in the game are actually worth using and actually worth going out and finding, and you'll feel like a badass while using them as well. And that's definitely why this mod comes in at our number 1 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Reliquary of Myth and Artifact Overhaul. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'll be sure to leave my Twitter in the description, and you guys can follow me on there and leave me suggestions to there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys later.